Hey Nate and Salome, I'm going to record a little video for you guys with my amazing background of my office. I think this will be quite effective and I think it'll be a good use of all of our time for this weekend. So I want to encourage you to take notes of what I'm saying and take notes of any questions you have and shoot those back to me and I will gladly respond and answer. So I'm going to cover four things. First, it's uh, the purpose of the interview itself, two, how the officer is approaching the interview, three, what the interview will be like, and four, post interview. So, first, you guys have done all the hardest part so far. You are past the application. You're past all the requirements that need to be met, like Salome, you're super healthy. Nate, you make enough money. You've proven that you have money together and you live together, and etc. etc. So that is all accomplished and well. So the real purpose of the interview is just two aspects. One, to make sure that Salome, you are who you actually said you are, and Nate, that you are actually who you said you are. So they just want to prove that you're actually the people who sent in the application. And number two, that you guys have a real, genuine relationship, which won't be hard for you guys to prove. So that's the main purpose of the interview itself. It's quite simple. And so for the officer, he or she's walking in to this. It's not an interrogation. They're probably going to see about 12 different people Monday morning. They're going to do their interviews during the morning, and then in the afternoon, they review the interviews they did and they do the paperwork to approve them. And so it's quite simple. That's what they do routinely every day. So they're going to have already looked at your application, and they'll come into it very familiar, and you guys, yeah, you'll be good. One thing that's awesome, again, is that they are not comparing you against Joe and Tracy over yonder. There's no limit to how many people can immigrate to America based on marriage. And so you're not being compared against. You've already met the requirements. They're just proving that you have a real relationship and you are who you said you are. And it's not an interrogation. And then three, what the actual day will be like. So you guys are going to go to the same place where you did your biometrics, which is up by the airport. So plan for like a 30 to 40 minute drive. Let's just say 35. And plan to be there about 30 minutes early. So you're going to go in, go through security. Nate, leave your knife. I had to. Instead of going to the left for biometrics, you're going to go to the right, which is where you'll do your interview. So there's a little lobby there. You're going to go up to the front desk, check in, give them your letter for your appointment, and they will kind of check you in. And then you just sit and wait. When your name is called, an officer will come out, call your name. You'll follow them down a regular office hallway and enter into a regular office with an L-shaped desk and a window, and a printer and a desktop computer sitting on top of it. So before you sit down, they are going to make you raise your right hand and swear that you will tell the truth and nothing but the truth. You do that little bit, and they'll invite you to sit down. And then the two components of the interview to, again, one, to make sure that you are who you said you are. So to do this part, they will literally take your applications, your I-130 and your 485, and they will literally kind of read through them, like, and say, Nate, are you Nate? And is this the day you were born? Is this where you live right now? Is this where you work? They'll do that for each of you and walk through those identifying questions that you filled out on the application, and they just want a verbal response to them. One thing they might do for you, Salome, on your application, you went through and denied all of those criminal records. They half of the time they seem to ask those to somebody in person, to the immigrant, and they just want a verbal denial of them. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to say no. Yeah, no, I haven't done anything. So they're gonna spend. I mean, that's gonna take 5, 8, 10 minutes just to do that, and that will accomplish the proving who you said you are. And don't be afraid of forgetting something. It's okay to ask, like, I don't remember my zip code at this address, but I know it was on such street. So it's pretty simple, straightforward in that regards. And then the next part to prove that you have a genuine relationship. So they will. This is where they ask some questions, but they're again pretty straightforward. So usually they will ask you. They'll ask you about your relationship. So how'd you guys meet? Who was attracted to who first? How'd you start dating? Engagement, wedding, and what do you guys do now? And so you just describe your life together, basically. So be prepared to share about that. Be prepared not just for one of you to say the whole thing, so it doesn't look like someone's dominating the conversation. And they might ask particular aspects of something when you go through. Some other questions that people have been asked was who was at your wedding? I think we went over this one a little bit, but yeah, it was big to them that the family, especially yours, Salome, came to your wedding to do your big ceremony. So that's huge because that shows that it's a genuine relationship, because families don't travel across the whole world just to come to a fake relationship marriage. And then I don't know what your guys' past has been like with this, but some people have moved a lot, whether internationally or just the American moving a bunch within the States. Sometimes they ask about that just to want to understand. But that's really it as far as questions that are generally asked. Again, pretty straightforward. One question you guys might be thinking is, how do we explain about we got married or betrothed really on such a date, and then we had our real wedding later on? You guys can simply share about that. They're really used to that happening, someone learning that they need to do the legal wedding to be able to start the immigration process. Just say you did it under pastoral advice, which I do think you guys had, and with your parents' consent. It'll go easy. Most people aren't even asked about it. And so that is the main part of the second half of the interview is those questions, which again are straightforward. They just want to know about your relationship itself. And so things you're going to bring in, they sent you a letter. Some of those things on that letter to bring in are overlapping. But basically, you want to bring in a copy of your documents that you sent in, which I know is a little hassle to print. Just you can save yourself some ink and ink and paper by not printing out all of the translator stuff on the back. But I would bring that in just so that you have it if they ask, and also you have a copy for yourself in the future if they don't ask. You're going to need all your original documents, so your birth certificates for both of you, your certified wedding certificate, everything that you use to support your application. So checking statement of your guys' account together, your guys' lease together for where you've been. If you guys have moved, you need to have gone to the uscis.gov website and submitted a little request or just notification of telling them that you have moved. That is important. That can hold up the interview a little bit. It's not a massive glitch, but they do need to have on file exactly where you are living now. It's very simple to do on the uscis.gov website. And then you are also going to bring in photos. So you don't need to bring in a ton. I'd say no more than 15. Usually what I tell people is bring 3 of dating, 3 of engagement, 3 of maybe your betrothal if you had any, to prove that you did it that day and who was witnesses and who did it, and then also 3 of your wedding, a couple of your honeymoon, and post life. And the big thing is I encourage people is show that you did life and community together. So show pictures of you guys doing double dates during your dating time with another couple. Show pictures of being with each other's families, if you guys visited each other's families before you're married, so holidays and so forth. So it shows that you guys had a relationship that involved community and extended family, which is the key part to proving that you have a real relationship. And then, so yeah, kind of use that family friend strategy throughout your photos if you can. Print them off and bring them in, and those will be a key component. So that will basically be your interview. It will probably be under 30 minutes. No interrogation lights, no bright lights, no two-way glass mirrors. It'll be really simple and straightforward. And most of the officers are very, very friendly. So post-interview, the officer will review your interview in the afternoon. He will approve you guys. Usually within about 5 business days, you'll get a letter saying, "Welcome to America." And then within usually 10 business days, people will have their green card. The officer will tell you 30, but everybody usually gets it within 10. Do note, even though you changed your address on the website of the government, sometimes they don't compute it fast enough, and those things might get mailed to the last address. Be mindful of that, but do change your address. And then, you'll get your green card within 10 days. You can take that and get a social security number. You've passed the whole process. Glory, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. That's good for 2 years. It's a conditional green card. You can enter and go out of the United States and work wherever you want. At the 2-year mark, I'll be following up with you guys, hopefully. 3 months before it's done, you just have to send in an application, $500-$600, and have another interview and prove that you're still married, still in love, which won't be hard. And at that point, you can purchase a 5 or 10-year green card. But at the 3-year mark, from when you actually get the first green card, you can apply for citizenship if you so desire. So yeah, that's the process. That's what you guys can expect coming this next week. If you have any questions, please send them to me, and I will do my best to answer them. So thankful for you guys.